You're listening to the SBA Loan Experts Podcast, your source for information, tips, and education on the SBA loan program from SBA expert Chris Hearn, founder and CEO of Fountainhead, the nation's leading non-bank SBA lender. Here's your host, Chris Hearn.
I get asked all the time this question about whether business owners should rent or buy their own property. And where we're at right now in the economic cycle, it still surprises most people that they can actually own for far less than they can continue renting. So it's not uncommon for us to get a phone call from a small business owner who says, I've got another 6 months left in my lease. Should I make this decision? And, what do the numbers look like? And we'll run the numbers for them. And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's far cheaper to own the property, to buy the property, than it is to continue to lock yourself into a lease where you're going to have, rent escalators, every year or every 3 years or what have you. And frankly, it also accomplishes amazing wealth creation for the business owner without tweaking anything about the business, which usually kind of blows their mind a little bit. But it's the same theory between why you'd move out of an apartment into owning your own home one day. You're going to build up equity in an appreciable asset over time. And if you're a business owner, you're probably already making the monthly payments. So now you're just basically paying it to yourself as opposed to your landlord. And SBA 504 loans make the most sense to do this because you're really getting the power of your dollars being leveraged in the best way possible. You're getting the best cash on cash return when you get 90% loan to cost financing, which is obviously what we specialize in.
I have often told people when they're starting out, it's kind of funny, if somebody will hear me speak somewhere or they'll read a quote of mine in some media publication somewhere, and they're so excited and they want to immediately buy their commercial property. And yet they're only at the beginning of their business. Maybe they're 6 months into their business, whatever it is. And I often tell them, sadly, it's turning away business for me, of course, but I'll tell them it doesn't make sense. I'm a big believer that they have to use their precious capital to prove their concept first. And that often takes about 3 to 4 years. But what often happens is once they've done that successfully, about that 3 or 4 year point, they're going to have the same experience that most of our clients have had, even I've had in my past, which is you have that 4 a.m. wake up, light bulb moment. You got the rent check due later that day, and you go, why am I continuing to own my property, continue to lease my property when I could otherwise own it? It's much like why I moved out of my apartment into a house. And it's a very common phenomenon that happens to a lot of business owners of small to mid-sized companies. And I just think it's really critical that they get to the point where they have established themselves in their marketplace, that they've gotten to a place where they're a fairly healthy company. And then absolutely it's a no-brainer to stop making their landlord wealthy and actually buy commercial property, something that they will appreciate over time, but they can start building up equity. They're going to probably pay the same monthly lease payment, but they're making it to themselves now as opposed to their landlord. It makes a profound impact on the balance sheet of that business owner.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to today's episode. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast to be notified weekly of new episodes and head over to FountainheadCC.com for more about our SBA 7A and SBA 504 resources. Also, give us a follow. You can find us by searching Fountainhead on any of your favorite social media channels. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Today's episode is brought to you by Fountainhead, the nation's leading non-bank SBA lender. Fountainhead's team of SBA experts will guide you through every step of the process and get your loan closed faster and more efficient than any bank. Apply today online at FountainheadCC.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the SBA Loan Experts Podcast.